Mississauga is one of the best places to call home in the Greater Toronto Area, and in today's video, I'm going to walk you through 5 of its best neighborhoods. I'll take you through everything in great detail, from schools to affordability to home types to everything that you can do within these neighborhoods. So let's just get straight into it. Just a quick note before we begin, welcome to the channel. First and foremost, my name is Mike Santos. I am a local realtor here within the city and have been serving my clients for nearly 15 years. If you have any questions at any point at the beginning, middle, or end of this video, you can find links to my contact information in the video description below. Anyways, as promised, let's get straight into it. All right, welcome to Central Erin Mills. This is the neighborhood page. You can find this link both in the email and in the video description below. And to give you an idea of where Central Erin Mills is first, I'm gonna go into our map here. And if we just zoom out a little bit, you can see it's sort of in this north central, west central kind of area of Mississauga. This is really well located because it's just near the 403. You have a GO station right here. And then you also have, if you go a little bit further north, you can get to the 401 right here from this street called Erin Mills Parkway. And so you've got good access essentially to both major highways, and you can get out west to Oakville if you work there. And it's a quick jump to Milton as well. So this is a really well located area. Next, we're going to jump into the schools themselves. In Central Erin Mills, we have both great public and Catholic schools. We have the typically top rated John Fraser Secondary School on the public side. And on the Catholic side, if we scroll down, we have St. Aloysius of Gonzaga. This is not always rated number 1, but it is typically rated within the top 5. These are both great options for you to send your child to high school in Central Erin Mills, which makes this neighborhood a really good long-term move, because not only on the elementary side do you have top rated Catholic schools, you also do have many top rated elementary schools and a top rated middle school as well. So if you're looking for a long-term move, something longer than a couple of years, you really want to settle down, then Central Erin Mills is a really great option for you. If you're wondering how much it costs to purchase a home in Central Erin Mills, these are the median home prices of each home type as of the recording of this video. So for detached homes, we have 1.55 mil, 1.04 mil for semi-detached, 1.15 mil for townhomes, and 715,000 for condos. These can obviously fluctuate over time. So if you need exact pricing or you want the most updated pricing possible, please contact me. Now, what kind of homes are exactly available here? What kind of detached homes do we have? Semi-detached homes? What's the mix of homes that you can find within Central Erin Mills? We're gonna take a look at that next. Okay, let's start with detached homes. What exactly can you find in a detached home in Central Erin Mills? Well, this is pretty typical of what you can find. This really nice, sort of classic 2-story, 3 to 4 bedrooms, around 2,000 to 3,000 square feet. You know, some pockets are gonna have more unique architecture. Others are gonna be a little bit more standard cookie cutter. Most are built in the 1980s to 1990s, and the homes are gonna have really generous sized lots here. Now, interior, the home, depending upon the owner, of course, over the past 30 or 40 years, could be either completely renovated, or sometimes I find that they're not renovated at all. So you could put your own touch on them, but you may feel that they're outdated. So if you have a really strict budget, then Central Erin Mills detached homes may not be the best fit for you. If you have a little bit more flexibility or you want to put your own touch on something, then this might be a really good fit for you. And if you're looking for larger homes, aim for Credit Mills. This is like a really large sort of executive type detached home area. This is where you're going to find the largest homes, really, really beautiful homes at a much more affordable price than what you would typically find on the more prestigious Mississauga Road. What about townhomes? Well, unfortunately, there's not a lot of freehold townhomes available in Central Erin Mills. This is a neighborhood mostly made up of detached homes and a combination of condo apartments and condo townhomes. So while you can't find a lot of freehold townhomes, there are many affordable condo townhomes that you can get into. And these are your typical style, around 1,500 to 2,000 square feet. Some you might find a little bit less than that. 3 bed, 3 bath, some 4 bed and 3 bath, typically finished basements. These are really, really nice homes at affordable prices and really affordable maintenance fees too, so they don't break the budget. So this makes Central Erin Mills actually one of the more affordable areas to get into, because they have a housing type that lets your family grow without breaking the bank of, detached home prices. And finally, we get to condos. There are actually tons of condos within Central Erin Mills. This has been one of the key areas to be developed and densified within Mississauga. It's kind of like a sister neighborhood to Square One in that if you don't want to be right in the downtown busy core of Mississauga, you want to be a little bit closer to the north end or to the west end, you have lots of condo options here. There have been a lot of builders that have built up this area of the city, all anchored by the Erin Mills Town Center. And speaking of the Erin Mills Town Center, as I mentioned, this is the sort of the retail amenity that's really anchoring the neighborhood. You have this large mall right at the center of the neighborhood, and it's undergone a really beautiful redevelopment over the past 5 years or so. And it has this beautiful sort of like glass ball that is coming out the top of it. Really nice mall, really upgraded and renovated well. So if you need an alternative to Square One, this is going to be your place in Mississauga. And in terms of parks and community centers, there are a ton. You've got leash-free dog parks like in the Quinnipiac Meadows Community Park. You've got Sugar Maple Woods, which has got great trails. And you have community centers like the Erin Meadows Community Center. And this is a joint partnership with the Dufferin Peel Catholic School Board. So you're actually going to find this located within St. Aloysius Gonzaga Secondary School. And you also have Streetsville Memorial Park, which is really close by. This is a great area to take the kids for the day. Got great trails around there to walk and to check out, and lots of great restaurants in Central Erin Mills as well. There are tons of restaurants just outside of the mall, tons of places to go. And here's just a little quick slice of life in Erin Mills. And now we're going to move on to our second neighborhood, East Credit. And just a quick break here. If you're finding this information valuable, I would love if you could just hit the like button below. It would help me and help others to find this information. Anyways, let's get right back to it. All right, number 2 on our list is East Credit. We're going to be moving just a little bit east of Central Erin Mills. But like Central Erin Mills, this neighborhood has a great mix of affordability. It has great access to amenities right on your doorstep. And most importantly, it has some great schools as well. So let's take a look at our map here. And you can see that East Credit is a really large neighborhood. Central Erin Mills was big, but this is even bigger. This runs from the 403 in the south to the 401 on the north end, runs along the Credit River bordering Streetsville. And at the north of it, we have the Heartland Town Center, which essentially is a big combination of big box stores and retail outlets, things like Costco, Walmart, Canadian Tire, Home Depot, H&M, Banana Republic, any sort of store that you can think of will be within this area. So this is a big component of the neighborhood. And at the center of the neighborhood as well, we have the Brave Bend Golf Course, which you can see here. This was an old garbage dump that was redeveloped a long time ago and now provides some of the best views in the city. So if you're an avid golfer, I highly recommend you check out playing this course. And now, more importantly, we're going to move on to the schools within East Credit. Both the public and the Catholic schools, they rank really well within this neighborhood, but I do tend to find that the Catholic schools rank slightly better historically than the public schools. Nevertheless, we do have 6 public elementary schools here, 2 middle schools, and there are 3 different high schools within this neighborhood boundary because it's so large. On the public side, I tend to find if you stay in the north end of East Credit, you're going to get a little bit better in terms of your school scores and your school rankings. That's going to put you towards Britannia PS, which tends to be the number 1 ranked school within this community. And you can get into Mississauga Secondary School, and there are some places where you can get into Streetsville Secondary School as well, which tend to rank a little bit higher than Rick Hansen. Now, on the Catholic side of things, we have pretty good schools throughout here. So you have more choice throughout the neighborhood, but I still also do find if you are on the north end, you are going to get into slightly better schools, and some of them on the west end, closer to Streetsville. Now, on the high school side, both are good here. St. Marcellinus tends to historically rank higher, but it's a very small portion of the neighborhood that you can get into, and St. Joseph's is a great alternative that covers most of the city. Either way though, most of the neighborhood. But either way, you have great choices for both public and Catholic schools here, and you have the flexibility at the high school level, whether you want to send your children to either public or Catholic school. Okay, let's take a look at the types of homes that are available in East Credit. First and foremost, we have detached homes. You can get anything here within East Credit. You can find small single car garage homes all the way up to like really large 3,000 square foot plus exclusive homes. So it's really hard to define East Credit by just one home type. I really like to say that it's a great neighborhood because you can find really anything you want at any price point here. And generally speaking, most of the homes here will be built between sort of the mid 90s to the early 2000s, and they're going to be 2-story homes. What about semi-detached homes? Well, we do have options here. you're going to find them mostly west of Mavis and east of Terry Fox, usually around 1,500 to 2,000 square feet. And this is kind of the era of what was called the Great Room. This was really in demand at the time. So this is where you walk into the home, you have just one room only, where it's kind of a mix of a dining room and a living room, but it's kind of neither at the same time. And then you go into the kitchen and there is a breakfast nook and then your kitchen. And so if you really want an open concept, this may not be the best neighborhood for you, but you can find homes within this neighborhood that are open concept. You just may find a lot of these style homes that are there. And for some people, they suit them really well. They come from, a home or a background or a culture where they want that sort of more closed off space. And some people want that more open concept. So you do get both within this neighborhood. Okay, so what about townhomes? Well, luckily we can also find townhomes within East Credit. We have both the option of freehold and condo townhomes. They're going to be pretty similar. You won't even really be able to tell the difference between most of them. They're going to be a similar size. The difference is going to be that maintenance fee, typically around $300 to $400 per month for a condo townhome. Whereas of course, freehold townhomes, there is no fee, but they're going to be more expensive in terms of resale. So you can get everything that you need here, from detached, semi to townhome and condo townhomes. But what are the prices? Okay, so as you can see here, these are our median prices at the time of this recording: 1.465 for detached homes, 1.1 mil for semi-detached, 970,000 for townhomes, and 859,000 for condos. Now this condo includes condo townhomes, so you can kind of see the difference between freehold townhome prices and condo townhome prices. Now, again, to get the most updated prices possible, please contact me. And finally, what is there to actually do within East Credit? Well, as I mentioned, the Heartland Town Center is kind of the heart of the shopping within East Credit. You're going to find all of those stores, as I mentioned. We've got ones also like the Harrow's and Outlet, HomeSense, there's Loblaws for grocery shopping as well, Michael's, Moore's, Old Navy, all of these types. Anything that you can really think of will be within the Heartland Town Center. But outside of that, parks are not the most abundant within East Credit. You will find community parks, but there's not really a ton. You kind of got to go north to Meadowvale to find some, or go west to Streetsville to find some more parks. However, there is going to be new trails that are connecting to what's called the Northern Expansion Area, the former Harris lands. So this will provide some new park space, trails, and 2 pedestrian bridges. So that is coming to East Credit. And then you have the River Grove Community Center. So this was completed in 2014. This is a great addition to the neighborhood. This is where, as an adult, I learned how to swim, and there is a gymnasium for basketball and badminton and tons of programs that you can do. So this is a really great community center to check out and have within the neighborhood. And last but not least, as I mentioned, the Brave Bend Golf Course. This is a par 72 championship course, 18 holes, really long. So if you are an avid golfer, highly recommend you to check this out. But for now, we're going to move to our number 3 neighborhood on the list. Again, in no particular order, we're going to be looking at Lorne Park. For our 3rd neighborhood, Lorne Park, we're going to be moving south of the QEW into what is considered South Mississauga. This is one of the most sought after neighborhoods within the city, with incredible homes on beautiful tree-lined streets, and you have easy access to the lake as well. So let's jump down into our map here, and you can see we're right by the lake. And if we zoom in a little bit, you can see that this is just south of the QEW here, and just next door is the more famously known downtown of Port Credit, and you've got the Port Credit GO station here. So Lorne Park is famously a lot more residential than Port Credit. You're mostly going to find really quiet streets here, mostly detached homes, and we'll get into those a little bit later. But before we do, let's check out the schools. When it comes to schools in Lorne Park, I typically find that the public schools will traditionally rank a little bit higher than the Catholic schools. We've got 3 elementary schools here within Lorne Park, 1 middle school and 1 high school. These 3 schools typically tend to rank pretty high, usually within the top 20, if not the top 10. And at a middle school level, it does rank high as well. Hillcrest and Lorne Park is also usually a top 5 rank High School. Great sports, great music program here. So if you have children interested in those, this is a great place to send them. Now, on the Catholic side, the elementary school is St. Luke and the high school is Iona Catholic. Now, these typically don't tend to rank as high within the city of Mississauga, so I do find that clients, they gear more towards the public schools when it comes to this neighborhood. But overall, if you're interested in the best school zones possible, Lorne Park should 100% be near the top of your list. But as I mentioned, there is kind of one downside, and that's the home affordability and availability. Okay, Mike, so what exactly does it cost to move to Lorne Park? Well, detached homes are $2.15 million as of today, the median price, and townhomes are $993,000. Condo townhomes are $1.063 million. Now, these might be within budget, these two here, but availability of these is a lot more rare. This is mainly a neighborhood made up of detached homes. So let's take a closer look at those. Okay, so let's take a look more closely at our detached homes here. And while it is $2.15 million for the median detached home, not every detached home is out of the affordability range. There are some that were built between the the 50s and the 70s, and they do look similar to other older parts of Mississauga. There's some bungalows and side splits and back splits and some two-story homes, but the vast majority of homes are going to be much more expensive homes. So you're just going to want to keep that in mind. So there is some availability and affordability within Lorne Park, but it's not going to be as abundant as other neighborhoods. And very quickly before we moved on, I just wanted to show you one home that's a little bit more typical of a home you'll find in Lorne Park. This would be a more estate-like home, which makes the area more sort of sought after and has that more prestigious feel with like the beautiful trees throughout. These kind of homes are very large. Price point is going to be well over $2 million. And so what is there to actually do within Lorne Park? Well, this is not a neighborhood that's going to have any nightlife. This is a very residential neighborhood, not even a ton of community parks within it. There are tons of parks nearby and tons of green spaces that you can explore, especially the Jack Darling Memorial Park, which is just on the lake. This is a great place where I take my daughter all the time, splash pads, and you have got a small kind of rock beach there where we like to skip rocks and playgrounds and everything like that you can think of. This is what's more typical. People are going to be sort of driving to these areas within Lorne Park more so. There are some trails here and there to be able to check out, but mostly this is going to be an area that you're going to be using your car. It's a much more secluded, exclusive residential area. And like I mentioned earlier, you have a link to this neighborhood page within the video description, and you can check out a little bit of what we call the slice of life within Lorne Park. But for now, let's move on to number 4 on the list. This is going to be a combination of 3 neighborhoods. We're going to be looking at Port Credit, Mineola, and Lakeview. So for the neighborhoods of Port Credit, Mineola, and Lakeview, these have their own individual neighborhood pages, but for the purposes of this video, I wanted to put them together because they share most of the same high schools. Now, elementary schools will be different between them, and I'll take you through which ones I think are the best areas to target. But before we get into that, I just wanted to show you exactly where they're located. So you can see on the map here, we've got Port Credit right to the south. This was Lorne Park that we just talked about right here, just west of it. North of that will be Mineola, and then just east of that will be Lakeview, which borders the city of Toronto. So when it comes to schools, which one should we be targeting? Let's go through that now. So when it comes to Port Credit, Mineola, and Lakeview elementary schools, I tend to find that my clients ask a lot about Mineola because there are 2 public schools there that rank within the top 5 typically. Mineola Public School and Cannoli, which is always the #1 school within the city. Now, the issue with those areas is that they're extremely expensive and hard to get into. Cannoli much more so than Mineola, which is located in East Mineola, which has slightly more affordable homes than certainly West Mineola, which I would say is probably the most expensive pocket within the city of Mississauga. People will say, well, what about Port Credit? It has expensive homes. How are the schools there? The elementary school tends to be the one knock there. It doesn't have the highest ranking. And Port Credit High School is great and one that people do target, but they always have second thoughts about the elementary school. So they also look at Lakeview. And Lakeview, just east of Mineola, has pretty good and pretty solid schools throughout every level. So I find a lot of clients end up gearing towards that area because there is a lot more affordability as well. So that's why I ranked and grouped these three neighborhoods together, because they do offer similar lifestyle features. They do offer similar high schools, but at the elementary school, this is where people struggle a little bit more. So I don't think you can go wrong at either of these choices, but it comes down to affordability. So let's look at some home prices really quickly in each neighborhood so you can get a better idea of what it costs. So let's start first with Port Credit. So our detached pricing, median detached pricing is 1.975 million, 1.86 million for semi-detached. These are mostly custom semi-detached that have been redeveloped over time from smaller bungalow lots. Townhomes, these are executive townhomes closer to the lake, 1.975 million. And then condo apartments and condo townhomes, you can find both affordable older condo townhomes and lots of new condo development within the main strip on Lakeshore of Port Credit. So some much more affordable options here, but overall the median price is going to be $959,000. Let's take a look at Mineola next. So the median price for a detached home in Mineola is 1.937 mil, semi-detached 1 mil. These are more tear down, so don't really expect availability of these ones. Townhomes are averaging around median price 1.377 and condo townhomes 1.05 mil. The vast majority of properties within Mineola are going to be detached. There is some affordability here, but the homes tend to be a little bit smaller. So if you are okay with a 3-bed, 2-bath, there will be some 3-bed, 3-bath, but maybe not a huge space. These will be within the range if you're looking around, I would say with 1.3 to 1.6 million, you can definitely find something here. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. Let's take a look at Lakeview. And as you can see, Lakeview's median prices for their detached homes at 1.345, a lot different than both Mineola and Port Credit. So you can see why people tend to gravitate towards this community more. Semi-detached, much more available, 1.038 million. Townhomes tend to be more modern townhomes and newly developed. That's why their price is so much higher than semi-detached. And then condos, these are actually apartments, 720,000 on average. So overall in this community of Lakeview, you get a good balance of schools, top-rated schools, and much more affordable homes overall than both Mineola and Port Credit. And you're not too far from the community of Port Credit, which is going to afford you all those amazing amenities that are there, including obviously the lake and everything that comes with it. So this is a really good balance, and I find people tend to gravitate towards this community more than the other two. And for our fifth and final neighborhood, thank you for sticking around. We're going to go all the way from the southernmost tip of Mississauga to the northern boundary. We're going to be looking at Meadowvale Village. Meadowvale Village is located at the northern tip of Mississauga. This is the youngest neighborhood within Mississauga, with development beginning in around the late 90s and the early 2000s. This is one that has probably the most unique homes within Mississauga, and I'll get to that in just a minute. And it's got great schools, and it's located next to one of Mississauga's major work centers. So let's scroll down here. I'm going to show you exactly where Meadowvale is. You can see it's right to the north, kind of sandwiched between the 407 and Highway 401. North of the 407, you're getting into the Brampton area here. And then just south, we've got a couple of unique pockets that I wanted to just give you a closer look at. So this is the Levi Creek area. This tends to be where the #1 rated public elementary school is. And then this little black square here, this is what's called Old Meadowvale. So this is an old village going all the way back to the 1800s. It's a very small historic village, and a lot of the homes have been preserved here. So if you're ever in this area, this is an amazing area to drive through and check out some of the older homes. And then in some of the pockets around here, they've done newer homes with kind of a traditional old-fashioned twist, and it's really, really nice, these two pockets. So now let's take a closer look at the schools themselves, and I'll let you know how they fare compared to the rest of the city. In Meadowvale Village, we have 3 public elementary schools. That is Levi Creek, Dairy West Village, and Meadowvale Village. For middle school, they will go to David Leader Middle, and for high school, Mississauga Secondary School. I tend to find that Levi Creek, as I mentioned, typically has the highest rating of the three, but all three are good. And in some years, Meadowvale Village pulls ahead. So I wouldn't say that you have to have a particular pocket within Meadowvale Village that you need to be, but I tend to like the style of Levi Creek the best. So if it were up to me, that's kind of the pocket that I would aim towards. On the Catholic side, you've got St. Barbara, St. Veronica, and St. Julia. Public schools tend to rank a little bit better overall than Catholic schools here, but not by much. And at the high school level, St. Marcellinus tends to be a much higher ranked school than Mississauga Secondary School. So often people will choose to go from the public system into the Catholic high school. So keep that in mind. It is an option that you do have. Whether or not you're Catholic, you can send your child to a Catholic high school at the secondary school level in Ontario. So let's take a look now at what the homes are like in Meadowvale Village and how much they cost. So our detached home, median price, 1.45 million, 1.06 million for semi-detached, 993 for townhomes again, and 890,000 for condo townhomes. No condo apartments here, just condo townhomes. And again, you can see that distinction. About 100,000, pretty common difference between townhomes that are freehold and townhomes with a condo fee. This is a really interesting area I find because a lot of people, they don't want to be too detached, excuse my pun, from the rest of the city, which Meadowvale Village is kind of secluded in the north, but they get a much younger detached home than being in the south or being somewhere in the central, like Central Erin Mills, where those homes are built kind of like in the early to mid 80s. These ones are built mostly in the early 2000s. So they get a bit of a younger home, bit of a larger home, smaller lot typically, but a better overall price for them considering the interior tends to be large as well. So let's actually take a closer look at the difference between the homes. When it comes to detached homes in Meadowvale Village, you do have a pretty big array of choices. I wanted to point out this one where you don't find a lot of homes that look like this. It kind of has that old-fashioned ranch feel to it. Thought that was really cool and a unique part of Meadowvale Village. If we go down to our semi-detached homes, this is when things are going to get a bit more sort of traditional of what you would find in the early 2000s. And 3-bed, 3-bath, 1,500 square feet, smaller backyards, typical of what you'll find, but more than enough space for the family, especially as first-time home buyers. And freehold townhomes, you can see pretty similar style, that late 90s build, and our condo townhomes as well. If you're searching for a little bit more affordability, there are some pockets here. I'm waiting for this to pop up. There we go. So you can kind of see the difference. This is within a complex. You drive into here. There's going to be a common element fee. There's going to be a road maintenance fee for these properties. And a lot of times they are 3-story versus 2-story. So that's pretty typical of what you'll find throughout the rest of Mississauga. Now, when it comes to the old Meadowvale Village, you can see that there are some of these really, really old preserved homes. This one specifically is from 1832. If you take a drive around this area, it's really nice. And just outside of this pocket are some of the most expensive but beautiful homes that you'll find within the city of Mississauga. And that does it for today's video. I walked you through 5 of Mississauga's top neighborhoods. Well, actually 7 of Mississauga's top neighborhoods, but there are even more, and you can find links to them in the video description below on my website. And for parents, you're going to want to stick around for this next video. If you're not a parent, please check out the rest of the videos on my channel or my website. That's it, and I'll see you on the next one.